Imagine this. It's 3 in the morning and you wake up to a sound you've heard all week. Thump, thump, thump. It's your cat's back leg, hammering against her own ear. She's shaking her head so hard you can hear her ears flapping in the dark. And when she finally settles down next to your pillow, you reach over to pet her and you catch it. That smell. Something sweet and musty coming off her ear, like bread dough that sat out too long. So, you did what any good cat parent does. You bought the ear wipes. You tried to clean it with a cotton ball while she fought you like her life depended on it. Maybe you even Googled it and found a dozen answers that all contradicted each other, and her ear is still red, still itchy, still smelly, and she's still waking you up at 3 a.m. What if I told you that for most cats with this exact problem, the fix isn't a $50 prescription? It's sitting on the shelf of your pharmacy right now. It costs about $5, and it is literally the same active ingredient your vet would send you home with. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Sarah Lane, your neighborhood veterinarian, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this channel is where I share the simple, safe things you can do at home to keep your cat healthy. The things that usually never come up in a 15-minute vet appointment. Now, before we go one step further, I want to take something off your shoulders. If your cat has an ear infection, you did not cause this. Yeasty ears are one of the most common things I see in practice. Some studies suggest ear problems send millions of cats to the vet every single year. It is not because you missed a cleaning, it's because a cat's ear canal is shaped like a warm, dark letter L, and warm, dark, and moist is exactly where yeast loves to live. So let go of the guilt, grab a notebook, because I'm going to give you exact amounts and exact steps, and let's fix that ear. But here's the part almost nobody tells you, and it's the most important 2 minutes of this whole video. Before you treat anything, you have to read the ear. Because in cats, there are two completely different things that make dark gunk in an ear, and they need two completely different treatments. Here's how you tell them apart at home. Take a clean cotton ball, not a swab, never push anything down into the canal, and gently wipe just inside the ear flap, only where you can see. Now look at what came out and smell it. I know, trust me on this. If what you see looks like dry coffee grounds, dark, crumbly, almost like someone spilled instant coffee in your cat's ear, and there's no real smell to it, that is the classic signature of ear mites. Mites are tiny parasites. They're wildly itchy. They're very common in kittens and outdoor cats. And here's the thing, the remedy I'm about to show you will not touch them. Mites need a proper anti-parasitic from your vet, and the good news is those treatments work fast. So, coffee grounds, no smell, a younger cat, or an outdoor explorer. Pause this video, call your vet, and your cat will thank you. But if what came out is greasy, waxy, brown to black, smearing like ointment on the cotton, and the smell, there it is. That sweet, musty, fermented smell, like bread dough or old beer. That, my friend, is yeast, a little organism called Malassezia. It lives on every cat's skin in small numbers, minding its own business, until the ear gets a little too warm, a little too moist, a little inflamed from allergies, and then it throws a party in there. Red ear, waxy discharge, that constant scratching, that sweet smell. When a vet sees greasy, dark debris and smells that smell, we know what we're dealing with before the microscope even warms up. And now that you know it's yeast, here's the reveal you've been waiting for. The remedy is called clotrimazole. Clotrimazole. It's a simple antifungal cream, 1% strength, and it's been sold over the counter for decades. You'll find it in the pharmacy aisle under names like Canesten or Lotrimin AF, marketed for human yeast infections and athlete's foot. A big tube costs around $5. Now here's the part that made one of my clients laugh out loud in the exam room. If I write you a prescription for a veterinary ear medication for yeast, the fancy tube with the animal on the label, the primary antifungal ingredient inside most of them, is clotrimazole, the exact same molecule. The veterinary version bundles it with an antibiotic and an anti-inflammatory, charges you $50 and up, and treats 3 problems your cat may not even have. I'll tell you how I really learned to respect this. It was a nurse, a human nurse, with a cat whose yeasty ears kept coming back, year after year. We'd done the swabs. We knew it was yeast, plain yeast, every single time. One day she said to me, "Doctor, I work with clotrimazole every week at the hospital. I know what's in your ear medication. I picked up a tube at the pharmacy." She treated the flare-ups herself from then on. Same result, at about 1/10 of the price. And she taught me something I now teach you. When you know exactly what you're treating, you only need to treat that one thing. A single clean ingredient, not a shotgun blast of 3 medications where if the ear gets better, you never find out what was actually wrong. So write this down. Here is the exact protocol. Step 1. Amount. For an average 10-pound cat, you need about 1/8 of an inch of cream. That's a ribbon about half the width of your pinky nail. Squeeze it onto your clean fingertip. More is not better. The medication works by contact, not by volume. Step 2. Position. Sit somewhere your cat feels safe, floor, couch, wherever she already likes to be. Gently fold the ear flap back so you can see the opening of the ear canal. You are not going deep. You are never going deep. You're placing that little ribbon of cream right at the base of the ear, at the entrance to the canal, where you can see. Step 3, and this is the step that does the real work. Fold the ear back down and massage the base of the ear between your thumb and fingers for a good 30 seconds. You're listening for a soft, squishing sound. That sound is the cream working its way down the canal to where the yeast actually lives. Most cats, once the initial indignity wears off, actually lean into this part. That itchy ear finally getting attention, some of my patients start purring mid-treatment. Step 4, wipe away any excess you can see with a tissue so she can't groom it off, and wash your hands. That's it. That's one treatment. You're going to do this twice a day, morning and evening, for 7 to 10 days. And here's what to expect, so you don't quit early. Most cats show real improvement by day 2 or 3. The scratching slows down, the head shaking stops, the smell starts to fade, and this is important. Do not stop at day 3 just because it looks better. Yeast is a comeback artist. Finish at least the full week, or those last few organisms will rebuild the whole party in a month. Now, while the cream is doing its job, let's talk about why this happened. Because if you fix the flare-up but not the pattern, we'll be having this conversation again next season. Yeast doesn't invade a healthy ear out of nowhere. Something changed the neighborhood. Sometimes it's moisture, a bath, a humid summer week. Sometimes it's wax overproduction from irritation. And very often, especially in cats with recurring ear trouble, the real driver is an allergy, usually food, quietly inflaming the skin and rolling out the welcome mat for yeast. If your cat's ears flare up more than twice a year, that's not an ear problem anymore. That's a pattern. And it's worth a conversation with your vet about what's underneath it. And here's your prevention habit. It takes 2 minutes a week. Once a week, same day every week. Fold back each ear and just look and sniff. A healthy cat ear is pale pink, clean or with a trace of light wax, and smells like nothing. The moment you see the wax darkening or catch the first hint of that sweet smell, you're catching round 2 on day 1 instead of week 3 when it's a 2-day fix instead of a 10-day one. And put a little seasonal note in your calendar too, because yeast has seasons. Warm, humid months are its favorite time of year, and so is any stretch when your home's heating dries the air and gets the skin irritated. If your cat has ever had a yeasty ear, bump those checks to twice a week in high summer. 30 extra seconds. That's the whole insurance premium on never doing the 10-day protocol again. Now, I need you to hear the serious part because I'm a vet first and a YouTuber second. There are times when this home remedy is the wrong move and you go straight to your veterinarian instead. If your cat's head is tilted to one side and staying there, if she's wobbling, circling, or losing her balance, if the ear is so painful she cries when you touch it, or there's blood, or the ear flap is puffed up like a little pillow, any of those can mean the problem is deeper than the outer canal. Possibly a middle ear infection or a damaged eardrum, and cream in the outer ear won't fix it, and could even make things worse if the eardrum isn't intact. Same rule if you've treated faithfully for 3 days and see 0 improvement. Stop and get that ear looked at. This remedy is for the classic outer ear, greasy, sweet yeast flare-up, which luckily is most of what's out there. Now, before we get to the recap, I want to talk to the cat parents I haven't helped yet. The ones nodding along thinking, Dr. Lane, we've done the cream. It worked. And 6 weeks later, the sweet smell came back. If that's your cat, this next part is the most important thing I'll say all day, because a yeast infection that keeps returning is not a treatment problem. It's a detective problem. The cream keeps putting the fire out, but something in your cat's life keeps lighting the match. And in my exam room, when we finally find the match, it's almost always one of 3 things. Match number 1, moisture. Yeast cannot throw its party in a dry ear. If your cat gets bathed, if she's one of those rare cats who tolerates it, or if you live somewhere the summer air feels like a wet towel, that warm ear canal never fully dries out. The fix costs nothing. After any bath, after any wet day, take a dry cotton ball, again, only where you can see, and gently blot the inside of the ear flap. 10 seconds per ear. You are not cleaning. You are just taking away the dampness the yeast was counting on. Match number 2. Over-cleaning. I know this one stings because the parents who overclean are my most devoted parents. But hear me, a healthy cat ear cleans itself. It has its own slow conveyor belt that carries wax up and out. When we go in every day with wipes and solutions, we strip the thin layer of healthy oils that keeps the skin sealed. The skin gets irritated. Irritated skin makes extra wax, and extra wax is a yeast buffet. If you've been cleaning your cat's ears every day out of love, I want you to stop and let that ear find its own balance again. Once a week, look and sniff. That's it. The ear does the rest. And match number 3, the big one, the one nobody wants to hear. Food. In cats with truly stubborn, keeps coming back ear yeast, the engine underneath is very often a food sensitivity, usually to a protein she's been eating for years. Chicken is the classic one. The allergy quietly inflames the skin from the inside. And remember, the ear canal is just skin, folded into a warm little tunnel. Inflamed skin, waxy ear, yeast party. Round and round we go, and the cream never fixes it, because the cream was never the problem. So here is my 3-strike rule, and write this one down too. 1 yeast ear in a year. Treat it, do your weekly checks, move on. Cats get things just like we do. 2 in a year. Now we're paying attention. Tighten up the moisture habits, stop any over cleaning, and start keeping a little diary of flare-ups. But 3 strikes, 3 yeasty ears inside a year, and we stop treating symptoms and go looking for the engine. That's a conversation with your vet about a proper diet trial. A novel protein your cat has never eaten, usually 8 to 12 weeks. No cheating, no table scraps, no old treats hiding in the drawer. I'll be honest with you, diet trials test your patience, but I have watched cats who battled ear infections for years become, quietly and completely, cats who simply don't get them anymore. Not because we found a stronger cream, because we finally took away the match. I think of a patient of mine, a big orange fellow whose mom had treated 4 yeast flare-ups in 14 months, each one responding beautifully to the cream, each one returning like a bad penny. We ran the diet trial. Chicken was the culprit after 9 years of chicken dinners. It has now been almost 2 years, and his ears are as clean as a whistle. His mom told me she used to hear that thumping scratch in her sleep. Now the only thing that wakes her up is him asking for the new food, which she swears he likes better anyway. So let's recap. Nice and quick. Check your notes. 1. Read the ear first. Dry coffee grounds and no smell. That's mites. That's a vet trip. Greasy dark wax and a sweet musty smell. That's yeast. And that one's yours to handle. 2. The remedy is clotrimazole 1% cream, about $5 over the counter, and it's the same antifungal inside the $50 veterinary tubes. 3. 1/8 of an inch at the base of the ear, massage 30 seconds until it squishes, twice a day for a full 7 to 10 days, even after it looks better. 4. Once a week, look and sniff. Catch round 2 on day 1. And 5. Head tilt, balance problems, real pain, or no improvement in 3 days. That's your vet's job, and there's no shame in that. That's teamwork. Your cat can't tell you her ear is driving her crazy. She just thumps that leg at 3 in the morning and hopes somebody figures it out. Today, you're the somebody who did. If this helped you, hit that subscribe button so I can keep bringing you the simple fixes that actually work, and tell me in the comments, what's the weirdest thing your cat has ever had going on in those ears? I read every single one. I'm Dr. Sarah Lane, your neighborhood veterinarian. Give your cat a gentle ear scratch from me, the other ear, and I'll see you in the next one.